Hello, YouTube. I'm back again. Today, I wanted to tell you that I have a special treat for you. I have a special guest. His name is Aaron Orlinger. He's owner of Aaron Imports, and he also is the moderator of a Facebook group that I'm in. It's called Codename Aaron, ARIN, and he's thinking about starting a YouTube page, and when he do, I'll let you know what it is. But he's a real good guy, and he did this interview in Cincinnati on this lady's talk show. It's called Table Talk, and the lady's name is Linda Matthews. You'll hear her voice, but you won't see her face. But anyway, I'm gonna let you listen to him, and he had a lot of good things to say. And basically, this is his video. And I'll talk to you
about some of the things that you know when it comes to climate change, like across the world, like what things are happening right now?
Well, right now, on Memorial Day weekend down in Dayton, we had the tornado swarm that hit our area.
Yes.
And depending upon what news you listen to, is between 14 and 16 tornadoes dropped out of a supercell.
Wow.
But either way it goes, it broke all records.
Right.
And in my area, we had an EF4. Brookville, which is 15 minutes up the road from me, had an EF4. And then Dayton had an EF4.
Wow.
And then there was others ranging from 3s down to 1s that landed around the different areas.
Wow.
And in my case, it sounded like it was right outside my house. When the message came in to take cover, I grabbed my disaster bag and went into my basement. I set it right next to me. I had a radio on where I could get news reports, and then I could actually hear it coming, and it was very loud.
Wow.
But as it went past my house, I used what they call the 12-second rule. I just counted 12 steamboats, and if you're still alive after 12 steamboats, you survived the initial disaster. But with any disaster, there's always aftermath.
Right.
And the aftermath could be just as deadly. Like, for example, with earthquakes, you can have aftershocks.
Right.
And that would be an example right there.
And that happened in California. Right after that, after Dayton, there was the earthquakes, a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago in California, one right behind the other.
That's true.
Yeah.
And see, in my case, when I realized the tornado went past, I was uninjured, and I felt pretty confident. But then I turned around and looked at my metal racks that I've got set up as my food pantry, and I've got my gear and stuff on it. I looked at all of it, and I realized with the aftermath, I knew water was going to be a critical resource. It's always the most hardest to find item after a disaster. But I was looking at my reserve of 10 cases of water sitting there. So I felt relieved. I looked at the food, and I realized I don't have to go out and be fighting with people over resources.
Right.
Because you don't know what stores will be open. I knew the second part of aftermath was going to be power outages.
Right.
Well, I had a 5,000-watt power generator.
Okay.
So that was my workaround to cover that.
Right.
And I just looked at everything, and I realized my preps were made as best they could be made. And I felt a sigh of relief that I was going to thrive through that situation instead of suffer like many others would.
That's wild. I mean,
water is the most hard to find item after a disaster.
Okay.
In my area, we had to go on an immediate boil advisory. The water was not safe to drink. We were told not to even shower in it.
Wow. Okay.
And at my house, I lost water pressure. I could turn on both faucets full force, and it was barely a trickle coming out.
Wow.
So right away, purification becomes, or filtering the water becomes essential.
Okay.
Making water safe to drink.
Right.
Now, for me, in one of my kits, I have what they call water purification tablets.
Okay.
You drop one into a 32 ounces of water, which would be one of those big cups that you would get from Speedway that would be full of punch or pop.
Right.
And you wait a 4-hour period, and this makes the water safe to drink.
Wow.
But I believe in building redundancy into my system.
Right.
There's a military goes by saying 2 is 1 and 1 is none.
Okay.
Okay? Meaning that if you're in combat, you can cover 3 sides of your body, but you can't cover your back.
Right.
So you're easily gotten to. But if you have a partner that's watching your back, that's the reason why 2 becomes 1.
Right.
If you had 2 generators and one generator went down, it would become spare parts for the second one.
Right.
To constantly keep that one in operation.
Right.
So going with that principle, I use, with my water purification tablets, I use something called a life straw.
Oh, wow.
The life straw will filter up to 1,000 gallons of water, which is enough water for almost 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Because your basic rule of thumb is 1 gallon of water per person per day.
Okay.
And keep in mind, you're going to consume more water in the summer than you will the winter.
Right.
But in the summer, you'll get closer to that full 1 gallon of water, where in the winter, you won't, maybe you only need a half a gallon.
So when we know an emergency is coming up, you know, say for instance, you know, with these heat impacts, or if the power grid go out or something like that, people don't realize that when the power grid goes out, you can't get gas. You know, your water may not work. There's a lot of things that happen when the power grid goes down in a disaster. So you would recommend maybe, you know, if they're saying a warning, take cover, you know, should we fill the tub up real quick or something like that? Or
that would bring me to my next item here.
Okay.
You can order these online from Amazon. They're called an aquapod, but some people call them a water bob for bug out bag. You can see a picture right here of the tub, and what it has in it is a plastic liner that you roll out into the tub.
Okay.
It has a little chute on the end that you put up around the faucet. You turn your cold water on. This will fill up in 10 to 15 minutes with cold water. It keeps the water good in your tub for up to 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Without having to be retreated.
Okay.
And it comes with a squeeze filter system that you just stick down in it, and that way you can retrieve the water.
Wow.
But this would give you the ability to store 65 gallons of water for an emergency.
Wow, wow, wow.
Usually for most disasters, you want to have a minimum of 100 gallons on hand, and some people balk at the concept, but when you're using your tub as one source, your other source is going to be your water heater.
Okay.
If it's a gas water heater, you turn the gas valve off to it because you want that water to cool. If it's an electric water heater, you just go to your circuit breaker box, click that switch off, and let that water cool. Now, most people's water heaters are between 40 to 80 gallons.
Right.
So between this system and your water heater, you're well over the 100-gallon minimum you would need.
That's amazing. I mean, that's information that, you know, people... Okay.
Right. If you live in an area that's with a hurricane and you want to accurately access level 1, level 2, level 3, 4, or 5 type storms, and what you're going to need. Now, if I lived in that region, category 3 and above, I would leave.
Okay.
A 1 or 2, I might be willing to stay. But at that point, I'd have to harden my house by putting plywood around it and take certain measures to harden the property. But once you accurately assess the threat, then the next step that you want to do is to build a disaster bag.
Okay.
Okay, right here, I have 2 bags here that I have for myself. This is what you would call a get-home bag.
A get-home bag.
Get-home bag, GHB.
Get home. Okay, get-home bag.
You have a series of about 5 bags, and basically you have what you call an EDC, that's an everyday carry.
Okay.
You have a get-home bag, which is your GHB, and I kind of equate those two to be similar bags. The EDC, the everyday carry, could be much smaller, but this is something that you keep in your car round the clock. In an emergency, civil unrest or something where it's unsafe to drive, you have to leave on foot, or say electromagnetic pulse happened and your car stopped running and you had to walk home from work. This has enough gear and equipment, food, water, and everything to get me through a 36-hour period.
Wow, that's amazing.
Okay? Now, then your second bag is going to be this big one here.
Oh, yeah.
That's your... That's what they call up north a bug-out bag.
Okay, a bug-out bag.
Down south, they call them good bags,
That's
which
right.
stands for get out of Dodge.
Get out of Dodge.
Okay, but it's basically the same concept.
Okay.
And then your next bag would, and it's probably your smallest, would be your average storm bag, what they would call blackout bag.
Okay.
That would probably have a couple flashlights, extra batteries, candles, just anything to cover a power outage.
A power outage, okay.
And then the very last bag, which would be, again, on this level or even larger, would be what they call an inch bag. An inch stands for, I'm never coming home.
Okay.
The threat is so bad that you have to immediately evacuate your property, An example would be Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island.
Right.
Something where the threat is right now, I got to go.
Right.
And when a family can get on the road in 30 minutes or less, the chances of them getting out of an area is very good. If it takes them longer than 30 minutes to pack up, they're going to be stuck in the traffic jam.
Right.
And they'll get caught in the open.
Yeah,
in
because
disaster.
yeah, because most you to talk about.
This is the Aquamera water treatment drops. Basically, you can drop these drops into water, wait an hour, and it makes the water safe to drink. But if you're looking to store water long term, you got a big 55-gallon drum. This kit would do a total of 60 gallons of water.
Wow.
You just empty the contents into the drum, fill it up with a garden hose. This water will stay good to drink for up to 5 years.
Wow. And that's why it's important when we talk about sustainability and green technology that you get a rain barrel, hook it up to your downspouts in your home, and when you have emergencies and things.
I'd like to show one other one here. This is a Water Basics water purification kit. It's basically a hand pump system.
Wow.
Your hose goes down into the contaminated water.
Okay.
And as you pump, it runs the water through a red line filter.
Okay.
And then the water is made safe to drink. Now the difference between this and say a live straw water filter is the live straw will filter out parasites and bacteria.
Okay.
Where a purifier filters out bacteria, parasites, and virus.
Oh, okay.
So there can actually be virus in the water. This is for high-risk water. It would do a total of 120 gallons.
Okay.
And then you just change the filters.
Okay.
But this is a handy system to have.
Okay.
And again, if the water is terribly dirty or whatever, this will take care of the system.
So you were telling me about you have a red one, you have a blue one, and a green. What's the difference between red, blue, and green?
Red is designed for high-risk water, where green and blue is for water that's more clear, more pure looking.
Okay.
It doesn't have as many particulates floating in it.
Okay. All right.
Could I show you one little trick?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's say that you're choosing to go with the live straw in your get-home bag, which I do, but you don't know the condition of the water when you get ready to go take it from the water source. Let's say it's after a storm when the water's particularly dirty and cloudy. I always keep a bandana in my kit.
Okay. Okay.
I can go up to the water, I cut a little piece off, and I can put this around the end and hold it. Okay. And then go down into the creek or river and suck the water up. And what that bandana would do is it will act as a pre-filter to keep all the particulates from going up in there and clogging my filter. Right. That way I can get the full 1,000 gallons out of this instead of maybe 4 or 5 gallons and out of the filter's clogged.
That's a great thing to use when you go camping too.
Okay, YouTube, that's it for the first half. It was a 52-minute long interview on Miss Matthews' show, and I just cut it up a little bit so that you get most of the good stuff, which is coming up next. He's talking about knives and everything, and those of you who know Aaron, you know that they call him the Knife Man. I never found out why, but you do call him the Knife Man. I think it's because he sells a lot of knives, and he has a lot of knives. He has a nice collection. I haven't seen some nice collections, but he has a nice collection. All right, then, YouTube. I'm glad you enjoyed this video, I hope, and everybody stay safe.